Hello everybody, this is Excalibur of Excalibur Zone Gaming, and welcome to another Friday Night Magic Reports, our FNM report. This is for October 17th, 2014. Tonight I went to Battlegrounds, the old stomping grounds for the win, and entered their standard Friday Night Magic. I went in and had quite a fun time there. There were 80 other people, so it was really intense. And I ended up coming in at 3-1, and I lost in the last round, a straight 2-0. So with my notes here, I'm going to go ahead and grab those because I really need to read the notes. I didn't memorize them. Match 1, I went up against Jacob, who was running red, white, black, aka Mardu. I won 2-0 without having to sideboard. Match 2, I went up against David, who was also running red, white, black, and I won 2-0, no sideboard. Match 3 was against William. He was running white and red, and I won 2-0, no sideboard. Then I went up against Charlie, where he was doing mono red, and I ended up getting my butt handed to me 0-2, and I didn't sideboard. There are a couple of things that I thought about, and I'll be making changes to this deck and trying it again, but we'll see how that turns out. So I have here, as you can see, a mono white deck. The Nykthos and the planes. There are, let me see, how many planes are there? That's the wrong one. I want this one here, I think. Nope, this one here. The number of planes right here were 21. I think it was 21. And then I had Nykthos for 22 because it's a mono-colored deck. I figured it would be perfectly okay to go ahead and reduce the amount of land I had in the deck. So this is what I had to work with. I didn't see Elspeth at all. Not at all. Not a bit. Not at all. If I'm going to run with her in the deck, I need to have multiple copies of her. The guys that really did the work most of the time were Brimaz. I've got 2 of them in the deck. And let's see here. Fabled Hero. The Abzan Falconer was kick butt, especially since this is a heroic deck. So what I did is I did an Outlast Heroic, where I have the Abzan Battle Priest and Abzan Falconer, and where is he? He's a 2-drop. Yeah, Ainok Bond-Kin. These guys actually give +1/+1 countered creatures a boost. So we have First Strike, we have Flying, and we have Lifelink, which are 3 of the things that I really lost when the Return to Ravnica block dropped off. When the Archetype of Courage, I think I'm going to get rid of him along with Elspeth. Elspeth is nice. Maybe she'll go on the sideboard. But the Archetype of Courage, he never showed. And he really isn't worth the 3-drop at this point since I've got this dude here. Got quite a few of him in the deck, so I'm going to pull those guys out. The Battle Mastery, let's see here. Do the Favored Hoplite. He was another heroic that just kicked butt. I got him out, and it was pretty hard to get rid of him. I have to learn the heroic triggers. If somebody burns him after I target him, the trigger goes on the stack, and then the guy burns him. I have to see what the targeting is, what the rules are. So I'm going to ask about that next one, because it was under my impression when I played against other people, and they told me this, that when you target him, he gets the +1/+1 counter at that time, and then the spell goes onto the stack. Because it's a trigger, it's not an activated ability, and therefore it falls outside the stack for certain things. And I think that's wrong, but we'll have to check it out. If it is that he gets a +1/+1 counter and then things go on the stack, that is a big thing right there. And I might have to change some stuff up. Battle Mastery came out once, and I put on the Favored Hoplite. No problem. This Feat of Resistance, that is as good, if not better than, and let me go ahead and grab it, the God's Willing. So I think I'm going to go ahead and increase the number of these 2 cards in the deck. Soldier of the Pantheon, he did his standard work. I had no multicolored cards come at me. And by the way, I didn't see... Well, I saw Heliod once, and he became a creature and helped me win. Dawnbringer Charioteers I did not see at all. But Soldier of the Pantheon, I've got a couple of him in the deck, and he came up. Ajani's Presence, just like God's Willing, and Feat of Resistance was awesome. Let's see here. Deicide I had in hand and never used, because I could have used it on a couple of enchantments, but for the most part, I was saving it for gods. The Hero of Iroas came out once, and he was immediately torched, just like the Phalanx Leaders. I got him out once and targeted him once and gave everybody +1/+1 counters, but for the most part, these two, as soon as they hit, they're burned. And also the same thing with Preeminent Captain. If they see that guy come out, they burn him. Spear of Heliod came out once. Godsend came out once. And the Eidolon of Countless Battles actually came out like 2 or 3 times, and he did pretty well. Revoke Existence, not all that much. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to sideboard the Deicide. I'm going to sideboard the Revoke Existence, and I'm going to bring in either more heroic or more targeting stuff. So these guys are going to go into the sideboard. Maybe I will replace these with another God's Willing and another Feat of Resistance, because that gives you your protection plus +1/+1 counters, and we'll go from there. So the deck overall, we have 1 Battle Priest. I need to up that, but they cost 4. I'm trying to keep it at 3 and under for most things. Abzan Falconer, well, we've got 2 in the deck. We've got 2 of these guys. We've got 2 Ajani's Presence, 1 of him, so he's going out. 1 Battle Mastery, 2 Brimaz, he did work. Dawnbringer Charioteers, I like the flight, but the thing is with the Falconers, they cost 3 and not 4, and while this says flying and heroic and lifelink, I think I like the Falconers better because they can do their stuff right away. Deicide, we're going to move to the sideboard. Eidolon of Countless Battles, they always do their work. Elspeth is going to sideboard. Fabled Hero, he came out a couple of times, but again, he's one of those that just get burned almost immediately. The Favored Hoplite is pretty good. I like him as a turn 1 thing. Feat of Resistance, I want to increase that in God's Willing. Godsend, I think 1 of is good in the deck. Heliod, he is pretty good actually. Hero of Iroas is good. Nykthos is fine. Phalanx Leader, maybe bump him up to 3. Preeminent Captain, leave him at 2. Maybe put him to 3. Revoke Existence, sideboard. Soldier of the Pantheon, I think I'll sideboard all of them and keep the Spear of Heliod. So there's a lot of stuff that we can do. And here's a current sideboard. We'll just show you the graphics. So we've got an extra Eidolon, extra Hero, extra Phalanx Leader, extra Iroas, just in case I need the creatures, because these guys come out pretty quick. The Herald of Anafenza just creates tokens, so I think I might pull that out of the sideboard. He's fine. He's a soldier, but the thing is, he's not really going to do a lot. He gets to be soldiers every time I update him. I mean warriors. And I want it to be a soldier deck. It doesn't really matter, but it gives me tokens. That's the main thing. This, I'm thinking about removing, but it's really good on your opponent's turn to immediately, at the end of turn, if you've got a couple of Phalanx Leaders out, to glimpse the Sun God on your guys. So you tap them, and then you scry, and then you can say, oh yeah, I want that, or no. And then on your turn, since everybody's got +1/+1 counters, you can then do some really good stuff with that. Now this Defiant Strike, I was looking at it. It's a nice cantrip. It's got a draw card, so I might increase that. The Launch the Fleet is the same thing as the Glimpse of Sun God, so that's what it's there. And you add more soldiers, which is really good. Mortal's Ardor is an instant +1/+1 lifelink. That's actually an artifact from when I had Boris Reckoner. An extra Soldier of the Pantheon, extra Revoke Existence, Raise the Alarm. I was thinking about putting that in there to getting tokens, but this really isn't a token deck. So these two may actually, this guy here and this guy here may actually come out. Aegis of the Gods is in there in case there's a lot of sacrifice or Thoughtseize effects going on, so I throw him in, so that's there. And this is an alternate to Heliod, because your creatures have vigilance and they can block additional stuff. So I think I'm going to put in more Brave the Sands, because they're enchantments. They can be destroyed, but there's not a lot of enchantment destruction going on for some odd reason. So if we go here, chances are Heliod is going to be removed. I don't know where I put him. Right here? No. He's here somewhere. There we go. He's going to be probably removed. It lets me put out tokens. I don't really want to go into the token deck thing. I want to go more into the +1/+1 counters on things thing. So, get rid of Heliod, put in the Brave the Sands, because that thing there gives vigilance, just like he does. Plus, I can start blocking additional things. So, everybody's got first strike, bam, bam, I start taking things out. My Fabled Hero is doing double strike on things. You know, stuff like that would be really good. And you can hit, and this is really cool, when you throw, where is it? The Feat of Resistance or a God's Willing on a creature that can block multiple things, then you can start splitting up the damage and taking things out more. Like even Ajani's Presence on that. So we're going to buff up the Protection Suite, and we're going to buff down, and we're going to add in lower casting cost stuff. So if I go through, and I can't refresh this, unfortunately. I go through and I look at anything that costs 4 or more, like this, the Dawnbringer Charioteers, and Elspeth, and start getting in those 2 casters and protection stuff. The Deicides will be in the sideboard in case people start playing with gods or a lot of bestow creatures. That's there. I think the bestow creatures are awesome because they double. So if you're not getting the land you need to bestow it, you can cast it as its normal cost and still buff everything up. Heliod was there. It was good that he was indestructible, but he only came out once out of all those matches, and I think it'd be best to just get rid of him or put him in the sideboard. That'd probably be a better bet. And yeah, these 2 are good. Had anybody decided to block with Godsend, then it would have been a lot better. Especially when you get, oh yeah, you come over here and you've got Brave the Sands and Godsend on something with first strike or double strike, and then bam, bam, things just go away. So I might be doing that, putting in another Godsend, maybe getting rid of the Spear of Heliod for another Godsend, and see how that all works out. Well, that's the Friday Night Magic report. I will be coming at you with a Game Day report and an EDH report for October 18th, and I will also be coming at you with a Game Day report for October 19th, which I will be playing at another store. So that's 3 more reports that'll be coming out with deck text from what I've used. We'll see if I use this or the Mardu deck that I've been putting together. Mardu Heroic might be a thing, and I'll have to take a look and see if I can actually do that. Because imagine having Fabled Heroes with all those Titan Strengths thrown on them. Because I can tell you, Fabled Hero with, what was it? Madcap Skills and Ethereal Armor ripped people apart. Really did. So, the Fabled Hero with Titan Strength on him is going to be scary. He's going to immediately go, I think, up to a 6/3. So doing 12 points of damage with that 1 attack. And if I can hit him with 2 Titan Strengths, then that's end of game right there. And I could possibly do that in turn 4 if things turn out. I can also add things like Agent of the Fates, which sacrifices opponents sacrifice creatures when you target them and stuff like that. So this will be really cool. So we're hitting that 15-minute mark, and I'm going to go ahead and call this an episode. Until next time, enjoy playing games. Visit your favorite local gaming store and play some FNM. You'll have a great time, I guarantee. Well, I can't guarantee that, but I did. Please like, favorite, and subscribe to my videos. It helps me a lot to know who is watching and what content people are enjoying. If you could please visit my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/ExcaliburZone. If you decide to support me, you're not only supporting me to get new equipment, better software, and to be able to eventually do this type of stuff full time, but you'll also be helping a bunch of other people, because 1/2 of all my proceeds, my net proceeds, that is, from Patreon, goes to charity. So there's that thing that I'm trying to get out there. As always, this is Excalibur, and I'm out.